Hey beauties. Hello. Hi, Deborah. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I am going to share the Zoom link on the Facebook. Super quick. Okay, welcome. We'll give it a minute to get started. Okay, here, let me put it. Hi, Molly. Okay, here's the Zoom link in case anybody wants to come on Zoom to tune in with me and we'll do some readings. Okay. All right. Let's give everybody a minute to settle. Any updates, anything anybody wants to report as far as watching the videos and feeling like you're getting some of the material, like especially day 3 really covered the feminine energy to hold space during a discovery call, why you do not want to coach or problem solve during a discovery call. And I want in the first, there's a part 1, day 3, that I really went into the benefits of selling a package versus selling a one-off session. Yeah. Some of them are super simple. When we just kind of shrink our energy and we tell people to try out one session, or we have that available on the website to buy. The problem with that is people are going to think that it will be enough to fix their problem, and most people who need help need a lot more than just a one-off session. Yeah. And so what they'll do is they'll just buy one session, try it, and be like, this didn't really work for me. I didn't really feel it. I don't know. And they won't come back to you maybe for more, but they'll maybe go to someone else. So they'll start hopping around, looking for the cheapest deal or something like that. So you want to have a strong boundary, because that can really decrease your confidence as a practitioner, is to feel like, well, I don't know, they're not getting results. And, you can start to feel like, maybe it's me, but no, it's just that we need to know how to hold a very strong boundary around and be honest with, this is how long it's going to take. And this is, I just went on a hike, so my hair's like, this is how long it's going to take. And this is how I work. This is how I get results for people. And yeah. Okay. So hopefully you guys had time to watch those. And did you have any kind of questions? Did you need to troubleshoot anything? Is anything unclear? Leave it in the comments, or on Zoom or on Facebook. I am at my sister's in Switzerland. It's beautiful. Hi, everybody. Hi, Anissa. Hi, Parveen. Hello. Well, let's just ground into what's present for you right now when you think about selling a package, having people book your discovery call. Are you clear on your application process? Are you clear on how to call someone into a strategy call or a problem, like unpacking what's going on, looking at it and going through pain and vision and intervention during the discovery call? What feels tight in your chest? What feels kind of heavy? Because that's the very energy you want to start clearing and bonding with yourself and having that, that feeling with yourself. If you kind of feel like torn inside and you have some kind of lack of self-esteem and you don't really feel you can do this, and there's some limiting kind of vibes, like beliefs with yourself, it's very normal. But if you can have a practice where you do, that's kind of why I love these kind of free master classes, is they help you with setting things up so your business is more likely to flourish. If you feel like, oh, I don't have enough proof that I can do this, I don't have enough testimonials that I can do this, Ali, because I don't feel confident enough to do this, look at the possibility that maybe you need to rewrite how you're going to want to do business from now on. Maybe it's about calling in people who are ready to come in for 3, 4, 5 calls to really fix that one issue in their lives. Yeah. So what I mean by that, and I think in part one of day 3, I did talk about the first package you can sell for. I had clients sell the first package for 500, and then this next one they sold it for 1,000, and the next one they sold it for 2,500, and then because they got better at their craft, they were able to see things quicker, they were able to help people faster, they were able to use the tools they were learning from me inside their packages. Yeah. So little by little, your confidence is going to grow, but you have to be the visionary of that. Like, you've got to be kind of the architect in your mind and go, okay, let me call in people who want to work on this with me, and let me maybe learn some tools I'm missing to add to the pillars. Like, maybe you want to help people with, do you guys want to comment a little bit with what like Molly and Anissa? I know what Molly's selling, but what do you feel are your main pillars that really moves the needle for clients? Yeah. And it's like, to me, it's so important to decide it from like the get-go. Like, you have to anchor into this solid, I'm doing this, because a lot of times we're carrying beautiful angels. And so there's a tendency, and I used to do this too, where I would wait to decide a course. Like, okay, if people buy my course, then I know it's going to happen. But we want to actually decide it's going to happen before people buy. It has to be a solid yes internally for yourself. Like, are you in no matter what? Are you in this business no matter what? So sometimes we hide. We're like, oh, I have one foot in as long as maybe people buy, as long as, okay, I need people to buy from me so I can feel validated and my family can see that, like, I'm not crazy and what I chose to do is good for me. Like, to be honest, if that's still a thing, if you still are like, I really need clients so I can feel like seen and I can feel recognized, let's give you that recognition now. Like, let's have a ritual where you decide to recognize yourself, where you decide to like give yourself the praise and the recognition, and you push on the gas pedal to go for freedom from needing your family to approve of your decision. Does that make sense, ladies? So it's really, sales is an energetic game, and it's so sensitive. It's like a little floating jellyfish. It's like very sensitive. I feel like, am I in selling this 10 months course or 2 months course, or am I kind of like floaty and like wobbly about it, Okay. Deborah, the packages I'm thinking about not yet promoted are based on the process: 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. You want to unmute, Deborah, and you and I can exchange, and I can read into it a little bit and see if any advice and something comes in. Clarity in business comes from talking to people and engaging directly with the people. Yeah. It won't ever, you want 20% to maybe be thinking, and you want 80 to be direct communication with people. The reason I say that, and again, I've been selling like this for over a decade. Yeah. And clarity comes from engagement, not thought. So if I'm just saying, as soon as you get an idea and you have your human design authority is like a yes, you feel like, yeah, this is now, because sometimes we get the idea in March and we're not meant to do it till September. That's okay. But in the meantime, go get people on the phone and talk to them. You guys can do informational interviews. So what those are is you find someone who you think would be a good fit for your package, and you go, okay, so you're a single mom, you have 2 boys, and you want to lose 20 pounds, and you want to get married, and you want to start a new career. Okay, that's the profile. And your program helps with self-confidence after having kids, bouncing back after divorce, and like 3 or 4 different things. Yeah. So she's a match for the package. So then you want to interview her to see, because as she says things to you on the interview, you'll be able to use that in your marketing as you speak directly to her on the posts. Yeah. And if you want more kind of how to do your copy and subconscious marketing, people who upgrade to the VIP for $47, you guys get an audio that helps you get into her head so you can write directly to her. Yeah. There's like a little, it's like a meditation that you can do. And then there's a PDF that comes with it. That's how to write posts. Okay. Subconscious posts. So Deborah, did you want to unmute? Can you unmute? Do you want to talk? So I
Yeah, I
can,
can talk.
okay, perfect. Tell me more about your package and the process.
Well, it was more just about providing people with the option of, if they want to go with a 30-day package, a 90-day package, or a 60-day package. And I have been working towards a target audience. I know that you kind of suggesting that that's not necessarily
Yeah.
a requirement, but I was kind of aiming at people like myself, high achievers who have heading towards kind of crisis point, or have that one thing or multiple things that are holding them back from achieving their full potential.
Okay.
And so, and that could be a range of different things, from excess weight, giving up smoking, being able to be a controlled drinker, dealing with imposter syndrome or anxiety. Or so there's a whole range of things there that I could help somebody with, and that's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm sort of starting to work my copy towards.
Okay, perfect. Let me walk you through a process. Can I walk you through something?
Yep, yep,
Okay. I have two heads in me. Like I have my tech, like my practical part who wants to give you a little bit of a practical advice as a salesperson. And then I also have my more intuitive angel healer that wants to walk you through an intuitive exercise. Cool? So we'll do
okay,
both. Do you have time? Do you have
yep.
15? Okay. And Molly's on, so I can talk to Molly next. So Deborah said she's going to give people an option to do 30 day, 60-day, or 90-day. Okay. And I'm just turning off the video for a minute, Molly. Okay. I'll come back to you because otherwise I start reading Molly's energy as I'm talking to Deborah and I get sidetracked. Um, if you were to go to a heart surgeon or you were to go to, a dentist, they wouldn't give you an option to choose. They wouldn't say, well, you could pick this root canal or that root canal. They would be like, listen, here's the problem, here's the solution, here's the price. They would be very like direct. Do you know what I mean, Deborah?
Yeah.
When you give people an option, hey, you could do 30, 60, or 90, you could do 3 sessions or 6 or 9, they get confused. And this is obviously if you sell, even if you sell on a website or you sell on the phone, at the end of the conversation, the person is completely in their heart because they've never, I guarantee you, if you really know how to hold space for someone to go into their pain, to feel their feelings, to go deep into why they need help, why they need to lose the weight, why they need to stop smoking, and you hold them until they also move into the vision of who they could be without the problem. No one in their entire lives has ever done that for them because what most people do is they problem solve. So let's say you tell let's say we'll call her Betty. She's that woman you described. She's a high achiever, she wants to lose weight and all the thing. She'll tell her mom, she'll tell her girlfriend, and they'll tell her, they go, oh, you should try this. Oh, have you tried this? Oh, I'll go to the gym with you. I mean, can you all resonate? If a friend has a problem and they bring it up to you, you go into problem solving for her. Do you know what I mean, Deborah?
Yes, I do. I've done it. I'm guilty of doing that myself.
We all do it. Like my sister, everybody. Like my sister wants me to fix something in her life. Instead of deeply listening to her, I went into problem solving because that's just who we are, right? Like our masculine energy comes up. But when you're on that kind of Mother Mary call, is what I call them, when you're just like, okay, let's really sit and like feel into the problem, and you start to break it apart, and you're gonna have, it's so nourishing to do it that way, Deborah, to really slowly feel what's going on with them. By the end of the call, they are completely incapable of being logical and incapable of thinking. Okay? They're pretty much really high at that point because you just literally took them through an incredible experience. Do you see what I'm saying? Kinda? So
Uh,
where people lose the sale is at the end, after that incredible conversation, they put people back in their heads by starting to go into the details of what goes into the package. And that's a huge mistake because the person, if you look at really good advertisement that works really well, it's always emotion. People buy based on emotion, not logic. And the people who buy based on emotion are all in. They're all in. They're like, yes. People buy brand new cars. It doesn't make any sense. They want the sports car. They don't know why they need it. They just want it. Someone's going to sign up for 2 weeks in Greece. It's not logical. It's emotional. People on their deathbed, they're not thinking logically. They're thinking everything they got to do, that they got to experience, right? So at the end of this discovery call, where you really held that person through pain and vision, and you did some intervention. Intervention is where you're honest with the person. You're like, listen, you're here. You need to be here. It's going to take this much. You're an expert, Deborah. You can't give them, well, maybe you could do the little bridge or the little, they're going to be like, I don't know what I need. I'm lost. And then you give them, well, if you this one is this much, and then so you need to give them 3 different prices, which is going to really mess with their head. Okay, Deborah? And confused buyers never buy. So you got to be really strong and be like and you decide right on the spot. I mean, you decide they've done the application at that point. So you already kind of can tell what's going on. You get on the phone with them. You can tell within 10 minutes if this person needs 90 or 180. Okay, you can tell right away, and pretty quickly in the conversation. So you're at the end of the conversation, you're like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. You've had this problem for 25 years. How long do you think it's going to take you to really become this vision, this person that you've just felt? And people are pretty honest at this point. They're like, I know it's been a struggle. Then, okay, so then I would think you would need 3 months, and then you can go into a little bit, but it's, you tell them what they need. Okay, Deborah, you don't give them options at this point. You tell them you're going to need 3 months. We can start on Monday. We talk every week. You want to give them, you guys, the least amount of details, because you want to keep them in their heart. If you put people in their logic and their mind, they're going to think, do I really need it? I don't know. What if this doesn't work for me? And then you start to have all the objections. When I sell and I'm in my heart and they're in their heart, there are no objections. They're like, it's a yes. It's a very clear yes for them, or it's a no. It's not wobbly because you're very solid. Okay, sorry for the very long explanation, but does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I want to take you and everybody else, if you follow along, I want to take you into this person's energy. She's fictional right now. She's like an avatar, but you're going to feel her and you're going to go down into her space and you're going to get some info about what she really needs, and in relation to you as Deborah, who you are in the world, what you're meant to do, who you're here to be, and your expertise. I'm going to look at your human design chart super quick as well, because
I don't know that I shared it with you. Let me see if I can find it quickly.
Okay. Sorry, my sister's on the balcony, so if we hear her, I have lots of friends like out here on the balcony, my son and my friend, but it's okay. We can do this. Yeah, I don't see it. It's okay. I'll give you a minute and
here it is. It's a PDF. So shall I?
On the Zoom, you should be able to do a little plus. Like do you see on the Zoom in the comments, there's a file, and if you click on that, you go to your computer and you should be able to find it and then attach it.
No, I don't want to do a screenshot.
Next to it, file, yeah.
Oh, I've got it.
All right, perfect. All right. Okay, so I recommend you guys do this meditation as often as possible, especially when you start, or you're a manifester. Yeah. Yeah. So you're here to inform. Perfect. So yeah, do this meditation, you guys, as often as possible to be truly in your most abundant, truest energy. When we start getting in the head, you know, how do I wrote a post about that. It's like we burn out when we're in our head. It's just tiring to always have to be thinking and anticipating and trying to hold all the possibilities in your head. But your body and your heart and your energy is, when it clicks into alignment, it's magic. Okay, I've seen it for many, many people. When they let go, they click into alignment, they click into like the vision. That's when you get like 4 discovery calls just all come at once, and you're like, they all bought. Okay, I've had those text messages on WhatsApp from my clients be like, oh my God, I just booked 4 discovery calls this week and they all wanted to work with me. So everything I teach you, everything I walk you through is to have that really magical alignment. So the prayer I would recommend is like, well, how do I align to my truest like gift that I'm here to share with the world? How do I really embody this gift? So already I'm looking at your chart and you have an incredible chart. You have the 57 to the 20. That's a channel a lot of people don't have, and a lot of people want that channel because it's a direct channel to the throat. And a lot of generators and manifesting generators, which is 70% of all the population in the world, some of them don't have that channel and really need it to be able to communicate and express what they do. You have that channel. That means that anyone who works with you is going to really benefit from you having that defined. Okay, and it's in your spleen to your throat. So when people are around you, they're going to feel like something that was missing for them is going to be filled up. Okay, and whenever you have the 57 defined, that means you're very wise and you can help people who think they know it all but don't actually know it all. This one, okay. I have the 34 to the 10, and whenever I work with a coach or a mentor who has 57, I know they know more than me. They can guide me. They're going to know more than me. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have this one is defined. So you will pull people in through your undefined centers. The people will want to come to you to give them wisdom about these undefined centers, because for you they're undefined. That means you may have had to work through a lot of lessons, and you may have gained a lot of wisdom if you did some inner work on these different ones. For example, when this one is completely undefined, that means you, in the past when you were in relationships, did you ever feel like you became like them? You just lost yourself and became a lot like them and started to like everything they liked. Did you ever experience that?
Oh, yeah. I just completely gave my power away to them.
Okay. And that's the identity center. So when you have an undefined identity center, you kind of don't know who you are. So whoever you date, whoever you live with, you just become like them. Like you just disappear. Now, let's say you've done some work on that. And let's say you've really like become wise about that. And you've decided, hey, that was really harmful to me. And you create a system to not do that. Then you meet somebody who needs to learn that from you, like the woman who is leaving an abusive marriage, who needs to regain self-esteem. Well, guess what? You did all that work, let's say, right? You did all that work and you've had to really do it because you started with no identity and no self-esteem or no self, whatever was going on, and you learned. So now you're able to really speak to them about that. So wherever you have white is where you may have gained a lot of wisdom and expertise, but you'll be coaching, mentoring, teaching from your defined centers because that's where you have the most energy. So anyway, that's a whole other little bit, but I just wanted you to know that you're in your chart, you have exactly like what would help you prosper and what would help you thrive and what your messaging needs to be to help you really where your messaging needs to be to land with other people. Your Mercury gate is gate 15. So gate 15 is kind of what you're here to share as a message, is where your Mercury gate is. Okay. There is I'm going to do an extra free training on how your chart helps you make more money. I'm going to do that probably next week because I got to prepare it. And I'm going to go into how your wand is your wealth. And it's in your gene keys and your human design. So that will come next week for everybody. Just FYI. Cool. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is everything cool with that, Deborah?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, you might as well have just written my story.
Okay. It's I can actually read someone's chart and kind of know more, but I can also just read your energy and tune into it, like tune into what's going on. So it's all available. Okay. Okay, let me walk you through this meditation. And I'm gonna put my headset on because I think I speak, it just sounds softer when I have this on. Give me a minute. Otherwise, I feel like I'm screaming because I feel like you guys are far. You are kind of far, but all right.
Do you want me to mute myself again?
Sure, that way we have a good quiet meditation for everybody. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so the intention in this meditation is just to help you get clear, intuitive guidance into the person who needs your services most now, in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, in the next week. Let's say possibly this person has been watching you on social media. She's maybe been getting your emails. Maybe it's a close friend. And maybe she's on the fence about really talking to you about her problem or reaching out. And maybe she's on the fence because you also have maybe some energy that's on the fence about what you should offer. So we want to clear that up. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. We want to clear that up because your energy has the power to actually push clients away, and your energy has the power to pull them back in. Super powerful. And I say that with a lot of confidence because I've seen it happen in real life. You know, we did some energy clearing and kind of aligning, and then within hours, the person, sometimes within 15 minutes, they got the text saying I'm in, and they sent the payment. Okay, it happens so often that I've seen it. So we are energetically responsible for either being open to receiving or close to receiving. That's one aspect, yeah? So let's call her in by allowing you to move into complete clarity about that you can help her and you know what she needs. So we'll go into her energy, we'll tune into what's going on so you can have a sense of confidence that this is what she needs and I'm ready. Okay, so you want to center yourself. Do this when you're not driving, possibly, although you could keep your eyes open and do this too if you want. So imagine you're going to just bring all of that energy in your head. You're going to bring it into a ball of light, and you're going to bring all that energy that's swirling in your head into a big bright light into your heart space. And if it feels available, you're going to push that ball of light further down into the belly and into kind of that almost, or even the ovaries, if that feels okay. If it doesn't, you can push it down further into the earth. So at the center of the earth, you can push all that energy further down. And we're going to do it a couple more times just so that it's more fluid, like that flow of I'm thinking, stop thinking, push it down into a ball of light. And the ball of light is like a magnet. It goes down into the heart. It gets kind of swirly in there. It gets kind of washed by the light. It gets cleansed. You detach from all the thinking and you push it down into the womb, into that space that's open. You let it kind of become more erased in the womb and you let it flow down into the empty space below you. And just allow your energy to grow bigger beyond your mind now. So you're going to become aware of this big, bright energy that surrounds you. And all around you, this energy moves up, 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 up into the light. So you're kind of meeting halfway with the light. And the light's above you, and you're becoming one with it. Okay, allowing the light to come from above you down into your space. And you're merging your head, your heart with the light. Okay, expanding, growing. Deep breath. Come back into your heart and become aware that your aura is bigger, bigger, bigger than you, taller than you, connected to a source of divine love that's bigger than you, taller than you. And you are the light. You're one with the light. Okay, you grow taller in the light, and you're going to feel like you're being pulled into a vertical stream of light that's way, way, way on top, beyond the city, beyond the clouds, beyond the whole kind of universe. You just go way up into the dark sky, into the sky full of light. You just ask to be shown, like as if you're calling on your higher self. You say, hey, higher self, higher mind, I'm willing to be guided. I'm willing to leap into the frequency, into the alignment of the woman who's figured it out. She loves her business. I've aligned with this part of me, this version of me who her business makes sense, her offers make sense. She feels confident in what she's doing. And you're asking the universe, asking your higher self to kind of help you find that frequency and land into that very specific signature. It's like an energetic signature of her. This version of you who's figured it out. It's been 6 months. She's had this really solid offer, and people keep feeling pulled in for it. Just naturally fall back down into the future version of you. She could be next week, next month. At some point, she is existing. She is real. Allow yourself to leap and kind of ask and to be guided to her, to this version of you who's figured it out. And there's a sense of relief. Okay, just experience that relief in your body of like, okay, it's happened. It's happened. I have figured out who she is. I figured it out. Yeah. And just kind of explore who you are in this future self, this version of you who, for whom her new normal is having 3 new clients a month who may be painful. It's a very normal thing. She maybe has a $9,000 month every month because 3 new clients painful at 33, or it's like really get into her energy and how simple it is to be her, because it's just who she is. And as you explore this future version of you, notice what she's thinking. Notice, like, what is she wearing? How is she feeling? And lean into this energy, lean into this spaciousness of, this is just who I am. I've leaped into this version of myself energetically. And as you explore this version of you, what is she doing? Is she writing articles for an online magazine? Is she being interviewed? Is she on a podcast? Kind of zoom out a little bit to kind of notice how she spends her days, her weekdays. And notice as you watch her life unfold what she feels very solid and confident in. What just feels really normal to her to do. And notice what's a certainty for her. What has become just a normal certainty? Like, what are her core beliefs that have become normalized and familiar? Just try to hear a couple as you just feel yourself merge with her, this future version of you, this kind of woman for whom your goal has become her minimum, it's become her normal. Yeah, what are her natural thought processes? So, for an example, might be, of course, people come to me with these and want to work with me. She doesn't worry or question that. Just like you don't worry and question whether tap water is going to come out of your faucet. Like, you've normalized water comes out. You've normalized hot water, taking hot water, hot showers. You don't think about it. You don't worry about it. People with a lot of money, they don't really think about money. They don't really do money manifesting work. They don't do money journaling. It's just like they just have it. It's just around. Okay. They might have business ideas. They might work on their different business ideas, but it's more about the creativity and the vision and being of service. So lean more into her, become transparent enough when you lean into her energy to absorb her thought processes and her reasoning and the way she sees the world through her eyes. This is your future self. And it's okay if you didn't get a whole lot of clarity in this moment about her now. You can always do the meditation again. But what we're going to do now next is we're going to do the same kind of exercise where you go out of your own body into the space of an ideal client who's been working with you. Okay, so this is in 3 weeks, in 6 weeks. You're going to leap forward. So you go back into kind of this time machine and you surround yourself with lots of light, because when you leave your physical body to go into the light, you leave this aspect of time, because time is man-made. Out there in nature, in the forest, there is no time, right? It's just, we kind of invented it. So you want to move out of the mind, out of this sense of time, into this space of like more energy. And as you become an energy being, you want to become really aware of leaping into this ideal person who's been working with you. She loves the wisdom coming through you. She loves her calls with you. She loves that she gets to speak to you every week and that she's committed to this package with you. She loves the support you give her. She feels like she's finally found somebody who completes what she felt she wasn't good at. And you just came right into her life and you're like, you're you, authentically you. She and they, if you want to do group programs, they all feel like this one person I described who loves working with you could times it 10, and 10 women love meeting you, working with you. They can't believe they get to do this work with you. You get to shine, speak your truth, share your tools, and they're all amazed they get to do this. Okay. And yeah, they all come into your world at the perfect time. And as you kind of visualize that and feel it, zoom out a little bit to hear her thoughts, to feel her feelings, and to zoom into her body, like kind of drop into her body to notice her darkest thoughts, like what's really going on in her head. And then notice what she's afraid of admitting about herself. Like she's kind of in denial. And what she notice what you feel she's going to need most. That's going to really help her. And it could be really simple. Okay, when you feel complete, you're going to come back up out of her space into the white light. You're going to imagine you're being showered by this beautiful white light. And you're going to, it's like a big waterfall washing through you. And then when you're ready, you'll come back into a pearly white bubble of light back into your space. Oh, yeah. And you just wash off even more if you need to. Cut the cords, just pull your feelers back into your body. And know that there's that bridge now. So you created this bridge from you to your future self. You know her energetic frequency, like her signature, her energetic signature, and you can leap into her. And then you also feel into this woman who you feel like you could really help. Okay. So that's kind of future pacing. We like leaped. In order to help your subconscious accept who you're becoming, you're going to want to do some scripting and like really script it as if it's already happened. All right. Okay, how was that for you, Deborah? And yeah, what did you pick up? I think you're still muted.
Oh yeah, I was just typing. Yeah, that was really lovely. I find myself going off and to disappear off in your meditations.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like she needed to know that she was absolutely perfect, just the way she was, and that the kind of the message she needed was to know that perfectionism is an impossible thing to try and achieve, and that she just needs to step into the best version of herself rather than trying to be the perfect the perfect person, because that person just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So,
And
and because,
how would that help her in her day-to-day life or in her business if she could get that?
well, it would change her mindset from being a constant failure because she's not meeting that
Right.
perfection she's after, and that she isn't, she can move out of that imposter syndrome mindset and
Mm,
step into just being who she really is,
mm,
and having a really high energy to attract in her ideal clients.
yeah. Does that feel like something you kind of went through a little bit in your own life?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The reason I say that because your Mercury gate is so the message you're here to give is gate 15, which is the gate of the one who march at the beat of her own drum. You're here to have a life that's unlike anyone else. It's not a cookie cutter life. You're not here to fit in. So you probably have had like, I mean, I'm not looking at your other gates. So, but your messaging is about, if we take the example of this woman, maybe she felt like, because I'm not like everybody else, because I can't reach this level of perfection that the society tells us to be, this perfect thing. The lemon is not real, is that there is no such thing as perfection. You're meant to be yourself. You're meant to march at the beat of your own drum. And that's kind of what you were saying. I was just trying to help you merge your Mercury gate with what you were just saying. And I know you're taking notes, but yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
recording it. You can watch the replay. Yeah. But it's does that make sense how you can help? Because I see her better now. I see that she maybe has felt so different. So she maybe has felt like, oh, but I'm not perfect because I'm so different. But her difference makes her so unique and so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to embrace that rather than fight against it and trying to conform to societal norms. Yeah.
Well, because that's never given her the approval she's wanted anyway. Probably, right? Or the security. See, people want approval or they want security. And probably trying to make herself fit into this perfect mold hasn't given her approval or security that felt real. Um, but so do you see how you feeling into her, speaking to her through that filter is going to help her want to sign up a whole lot more than if you tell her she has a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day package to buy. Do you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it sets the tone for how they are when they're in your container. If somebody buys a package from you from her heart, they're so easy, they're so fun, they're all in. Whatever you do, they show up live. They're not they're not like those clients that are just always in their head and kind of complicated. They're super fun and they want more time with you. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
my next challenge is going to be attracting the people to my discovery calls.
Yeah, everything we're talking about though is going to help you feel more aligned to having them. Um, you're a manifester, so it's just about you informing, writing, informing. So you're telling people that you have uh, three three spots this week open to have a deep conversation about how perfection may have been, how perfection is costing you money, love, and freedom. You just start to write some posts about how that affected you. Maybe manifestors are meant to also, you can talk about yourself and share some stories about your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of moving pieces, but I'm giving you the piece that can make the biggest pivots and the shifts. Because if you can move into the woman who already knows how to do it, if you can feel into also the woman she's serving, your thoughts are going to be more aligned with, I've already been selling packages, versus trying to figure it out, staying in the frequency of the woman who hasn't sold anything or much. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. I'm gonna just I know Molly's on, so we can check in with Molly. And then on Facebook, there were a couple of comments about, let me go. Parveen, you left a question on there and I wasn't sure I understood it. Maybe you can expand on it a little bit. Okay, Anissa, I am now calling in people who will work with me for at least 3 months and commit to showing up for multiple sessions. Yeah, of course. What if I really need clients to make the money? What if I really need the clients to make the money? I don't know if I understand what you were asking there, Parveen, if you want to expand on it. I would imagine you need clients to make money. Is it when I was saying you don't need validation from clients to feel validated to then give your family a sense that you made the right choice, you know? It's a tough one, you guys. When you have a strong need to be right about your decision in order to get your parents or your family off your back, oh my goodness. It's just that there's so many threads in there to have freedom. It's an abundant heart, a grateful heart, and a free heart, a free mind always gets more of what it already is. The more loved you feel, the more you give yourself love and recognition, the more abundant you feel, the less you do it in order to make sure those people are wrong and you're right. The more you're in your ego, and the ego is very poor. Ego is very much stuck in I have and I lose, I have and I lose. So why would you be attached to prove them wrong about you is a really big one you need to ping pong on for a while until you're completely free. You need to ping pong on why am I attached to make money? Why am I attached why am I attached to have money to feel safe? Like a lot of us think money makes us feel safer. And I know logically it looks like that, right? It looks like that logically. But money is energy, and money actually comes from source through people and experiences. But in order to manifest the people willing to give you the money, that energy has to be unlocked, you know? So there's a lot of layers in there, but just keep at it, okay? Make sure you keep at it. So Molly, who else wants to have a little hot seat before we, I don't know, complete our call for today? I feel like you guys got a lot, and we're going to do an extra call next week on your human design and how your wound is your wealth as far as creating. I guess it's going to be more for healers, coaches, and therapists. But even if you are like inside a networking kind of MLM, or you're in an organization, or you want to write a book, or you want to have anything really, knowing how your human design can help you communicate that, how you were meant to kind of be in the world, you know? Anyway, Molly, did you want to go on? I don't know if you're still here. As my sister is outside, I don't know what she's doing. Yes, yeah. Yeah, why am I attached to succeed? You know, what's that? What's that behind it? Because that wound is going to feel very so big that it's going to get in the way. Oh, okay, Anissa, yeah, we can try. We can look at that. Hang on, let me go tell my sister too. Okay.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I realized that I was trying to use the video and I couldn't, but I can use the mic.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I just wrote in the chat this, but I don't have any
Okay.
questions in particular, but there is like a massive amount going on right now, like massive energy. I'm starting so many new things, but it's kind of it's a different direction, but it's kind of bringing everything together for me. So I feel like closer to home, if that
Nice.
makes
I
sense.
got you. So I me to
So I
read it.
just love
Yeah.
to know what you see, read in my energy right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do see this really beautiful, very vibrant green light, like it's a wave coming out of your heart and a little bit of your solar. And it feels like it's like you've healed something that was kind of in your solar and in your heart. So the solar is about, like self-esteem and control and who you are, and then the heart, it can be about receiving. And I feel like you've somehow healed stuff in there, but you're also looking at sharing that now with more people. It's kind of what's going on. There's lots of gold light around you. Did you want me to look? Can you ask? I need to hear your voice one more time when it comes to it's about because I feel like you want more. Like there's this frustration a little bit because you can see so clearly your leadership, like who you're here to be, how much you're here to be more vocal. Like I just feel like you're meant to be more visible and more prolific with your words and what you're writing, what you're sharing. But there's a sense that like your avatar, like your body is like over here, and you're like, but I see myself like super busy and productive and creative here, but you're here. Like it just feels like there's a disconnect. Does that resonate?
Kind of. I feel like there's I was just talking about this with a friend that we've just been getting so much ready. We're about it's like getting ready for takeoff
Yeah,
and there's so much to do, like so many nitpicky things with my business, like make links for different products,
perfect.
like that
Okay.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
putting it all together. That's like I don't want to say holding me back a little, but that's still keeping me from creation that I want to be doing. So I
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah. Yeah, but that's good. You're taking care of all the little bits so that you can have that freedom
Mhm.
because then if your stuff does go, it's more visible, like people see it more, then you'll know they can come back around and sign
Yeah,
up,
that's
right?
right.
But is it, what did you want me to look at specifically that like because I'm only going to see what you've kind of programmed in your upcoming reality.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Let's see. Okay, so right now I am I'm still looking to bring in more clients for luminaries. And so I feel like there's one missing piece there. It's
Hmm.
interesting. There was like a long line of drama this summer, but it led me to realizing I need to be into bibliotherapy, and that's going to be like the ground piece, kind of cornerstone for everything that ties together the bookstore and my business. And so now they are more aligned and more together.
Okay.
Um, so one thing I'm trying to figure out is how I can have a podcast that goes for both. Another thing is how I can bring in more clients for luminaries. Um,
Yeah.
mhm.
The kind of like what I'm reading right now to answer your question, let me see how I can kind of set this up to give you context. I feel like Luminaries is so close to you, like it's your baby, like it's so close to you that as okay, to me, it's sometimes easier to start from scratch, right? And to be willing to start from scratch, to be like, okay, universe, what do you need me for? How can I be of service to the people who need help in this area that is my kind of expertise? Show me what would I call this program? How would I give this? How would I do this? How would I do this masterclass? Show me my business model. Like, how would you want me to do things? To me, sometimes that's easier to kind of bring people in than to have like, this is what I sell and this is all I do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, did you create it in response, or like, did you create it from people inviting you to tell them about it? About like what, you know what I'm saying? Versus did you create it in your own alone energy, like in your own space, and then now you're looking for people who need it? Do you see how that's kind of
I
harder to
created
sell?
it. So there were a bunch of people I was doing sessions for,
Okay.
and they were wondering, like, this is something like the kind of client I love is someone who's after a big dream
Yeah.
and creative. So all of these clients that spoke to me were creating a big dream and they had a problem in the way. And it's
Perfect.
generally mental health, emotional health, overwhelmed, stressed,
Okay.
that kind of thing. And so they want to create their big dream and they want to thrive as artists.
Yeah.
And so that's why I created it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
doing all these sessions and they all have this general theme. What can I,
Perfect.
how can I help all of them?
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you a splenic projector, my love? Do you remember? Or
I
emotional?
think so. I did look it up for you recently. I think it was splenic.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was like, gross, that sounds gross.
Oh, yeah. I remember. So that's good news though, because that means you're going to know really quickly the yes or the no, but it's going to come in fast and it's going to come in sometimes only once. So it's going to be like a knowing, because I feel like your messaging is really good, but I feel like, have you tried to do more master classes to unpack why they need luminaries, to show them the problem and and like what the solution would be?
I have done a couple
Mm-hmm.
of smaller ones. Like so I discovered these archetypes, creative archetypes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
doing sessions. Yeah. So I did one on that. And like, I felt like it just didn't get much visibility, but the people that did see it, it seemed to really resonate with. People would be like, oh, I'm that one, or I'm that one,
Yeah.
or that's what I need, you know?
Okay. And do you have, so this is what I'm picking up, okay? And again, this is very strategy for you. You might feel like a yes or a no, but on a more subconscious marketing, let's say you do a bunch of posts, you do a bunch of classes where you're like, oh, are you this type of artist and you struggle with these three top problems? I've figured out a roadmap and a system to fix this one. Like, so this problem, if you do this, it will fix the problem. This problem, if you do this and that, it will fix this one. Like you were saying, emotional, all the different things, and the subconscious mindset and self-esteem. Well, we do this with that. And then you leave it at that. So you just said, here's the problem. If you guys do this and that, it will fix it. And then you just hands off, you're done. If you do that enough times, we're going to be like, oh, Molly has the solution. How do I work with Molly to fix these things? Does that make sense?
Okay. I like that. It's fun. I'm actually creating this quiz right now as I've got a social media assistant, so we're like doing it together.
Yeah.
And so I'll have the quiz, and then with the answers, I think that's where that will come in. So
Yeah, and I get that you could write an ebook that's really easy to keep as a free download, where you really, it's maybe like 15, 20 pages, with pictures and things, but you could really go into these parts.
Oh, that's a great
Because,
idea.
and then you can drop, oh, and in my program Luminaries, people who get to do that. Like, so you talk about, you give them a real valuable ebook, but inside it you do say, people in my program can really work on this. So it's very subtle, but it's very subconscious marketing where it's like they every time they think of the problem, they're going to think of you because you really detailed out the problem.
Okay.
Like everybody who goes into my Sales Angel Heart, anytime you guys have a discovery call question, I probably pop in now because that, like every time, because I talk so much about sales because I really break apart the sales process. So usually people think, oh, she's the one. See what I'm saying?
Yes, this makes so much sense. I want to be that go-to person. And also since I discovered these archetypes through these sessions, like I feel like once they're out there, people will think of me.
Yeah,
Like
but just
it's
make
just putting it out
sure,
there.
yeah, make sure you follow your strategy and your authority as a projector. So you want to really spend every day 5 minutes in front of the mirror, giving yourself recognition for all the things, for making the bed, making breakfast, being on this call. You want to go, you recognize Molly. You're like, I see you, I recognize you, I love you. Like it literally, since I've been doing this, I'm not a projector, but I have a lot of projector channels. And ever since I've been doing that, I've had massive people come out of nowhere to recognize me because I started to recognize myself. Okay,
Oh,
Molly,
I
have you
love
ever
that. I
tried
love
that?
that. No, I
You do that?
haven't.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I've done it a few times just for like self-love kind of things, but I haven't done
Yeah,
it
but this is,
recognition.
it's giving yourself recognition. So it's really being like even looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, I deeply, completely recognize you for everything you're doing. I mean, you want to give her praise for like creating the program, showing up on all those calls you did. I mean, you want to give her, like, you want to give Molly like this, as if the world started to recognize you, you do it to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's going to
love
turn
that.
everything around. You're no longer going to emanate this feeling of, I need recognition. You're not going to be like, hello, I have recognition. Give me more because I got it already.
Mhm.
It's a huge shift. Do it in the shower, do it like when you go for a walk, just go, I recognize you, I see you. Oh my God, you did this. It's not praise and it's not self-love. It's true. It's like, it's how projectors want to be recognized?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I feel like there's not even a word for it.
Yeah, it's hard to
In a
describe.
different language.
Yeah.
It is like such an interesting feeling. I feel like recognition does not like describe that feeling. Really something
Yes.
different.
But can you put that on and have that feeling? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
Like,
I can totally visualize it. I know exactly how it feels. So I
yes.
know when I get it. It's like I know when and I can, yes, I'll figure out how to give it to myself. I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it's huge. I got it from, it's a human design mentor who makes 7 figures as a human design business person. And that's what she said she does.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah. So you're gonna, go out there and try those things and, because eventually when your brand is a bit more like when your brand and your product is strong and you've been giving yourself recognition, you have this great ebook, then we can do more Facebook ads and you can really pull people in, and your funnel's going to feel more solid because you've tested it, you've tweaked it, you've tested it. So
Oh gosh,
yeah.
thank you so much.
Okay,
That feels like a
cool.
great shift.
Yeah, good. Okay. And then don't worry, like don't forget also to have availability for calling in a one-on-one painful or one-on-one client who maybe doesn't, they'll do your program but with you one-on-one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Mhm. Yeah,
If
that would
that
be
feels
really great.
okay, like yeah.
I would love that. Yes.
And it's kind of a decision. So like I said at the beginning of the call, I don't know if you were there, but it was like sometimes we're nice people, so we're like, oh, I think I'm gonna offer this, let's see if people bite, let's see if people want to sign up, instead of being like, I'm offering this, like I'm showing up for this, I don't care if nobody buys, I'm doing it, I'm showing up. It's a
Mhm.
different, and then people love to buy from us when we do have solid energy. So even though I say to everybody on the discovery call, you're super loving feminine Mother Mary, but you do shift into more masculine energy at the end when you do intervention and you say, listen, you're here, you want to be here, this is what it's going to take. It's like a more solid glass, like you're the glass, right? And you're going to be more like in the way people love to buy from us when we are in that masculine. We show up. It's predictable. It's we're like solid in that decision. Does that make sense, Molly? So maybe try that on too with um yeah, deciding things into being. Okay, let
Yes.
me
I
check
love
on my
that.
son who's has a question. 1 second, guys. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Alix.
All right, I'm gonna come right back. You guys give me 30 seconds. I gotta check in with my little kid, my big kid. Okay, sorry, ladies. I had to check in on my little kiddo. All right. Um, Let me see. Anissa, I'll read for Anissa and then we will probably need to end it here because I gotta go do stuff with my son. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Let me read Anissa. But as you can tell from like helping Deborah and Molly, it's cells is not, a 3-step process. It does take how is your energy, like how like the actual setup of your funnels, if you're doing application funnel, it's kind of a whole world. And the more pieces of the mosaic you feel strong in, the easier the sales process is going to be. In my experience, having an application to discovery call funnel is the easiest one to know if it's going to work or not. Because if you really clear your energy around receiving money, if you get alignment, usually you have, and you write a couple posts inviting people into a discovery call, you send an email, you're going to have evidence that you're aligned with receiving money right away. This is why I was so adamant, and this is going to be for Anissa, for Molly, for Parveen, everybody who needs money. If you put something online to sell, an item to sell, and it doesn't sell, look at what's going on with yourself. Look at why you don't believe it's going to sell. Look at, and like, start with the smallest things, because that's what alignment is about. If you can sell the little things, you're going to be able to sell the big things. Okay. And an application funnel is going to help you know right away if what you're doing is going to get you the results. Because like Julia, who's been in this group with us at the same time, she joined last week, she watched the videos, she's kind of been with us. She hasn't had a single discovery call in 6 months because I think she does a couple different things, but for her coaching business, which she's no longer calling a coaching business, she hasn't been able to have any discovery calls. And she had 4 this week since she's been applying these tools. So I'm happy to give you readings, but it's really about implementing and doing the energy clearing work and really doing it, because as an intuitive, I'm only going to see what you've decided you're calling in. Everything could change tomorrow if you do the work. So, all right. Yeah. Okay, let me look at Anissa. And my son got a new toy. I guess he got some kind of new Legos. So we might have a little bit of noise because I don't want to move. I'm too comfy here. So I'm gonna stay here. All right. Let me tell him one thing. 1 second. Okay, let me look at Anissa. Mm. Um, hmm. Might be easier if we could talk, Anissa, but I mean, you're back kind of in that space of, you guys, you know how I talk about the pivot? Like we're either lookers or finders, we're either student or experts. You're kind of back in the vibe of the one who's kind of waiting instead of the one who's maybe in action. And I think it's for a few reasons. Maybe it's just you just have had a lot of feeling. It's just a familiar archetype for you to be in the one who waits, to like, oh, I gotta wait to be old enough to drive. I gotta wait to be old enough to have my own job. I gotta, you know how we waited a lot when we were teenagers? Oh, I gotta wait to be allowed to go out next week because I'm grounded this week, or I gotta wait till I'm done with school in order to then be able to have my own job, or I gotta wait to buy what I want because I don't have enough money and I gotta save the money. So Anissa, I get you in a lot of the waiting archetype instead of leaping and pivoting into the one who is making shit happen now. You know, I have to wait for what I want is your in your energy field is more of it's a wounded teenager who hasn't who's stuck in that waiting. You're just waiting instead of um living in the gratitude that it's happening, the certainty of it's happening. Do you know the difference? Like even you even told me, oh, I'm waiting for this client to pay me in full in August. Like what's the attachment to waiting? Could you please ping pong on that? Why am I attached to waiting? What's behind that? There's some kind of self-protective mechanism that you have around waiting. It somehow keeps you safe. There's an attachment to waiting that you need to definitely get beyond. And then do the chair exercise. You sit in the chair as the one who loves to wait. It's familiar for her to wait. And then pivot to the one who's on the opposite of that chair, the one who makes things happen, the one who makes decision, the one who knows things are coming, the one who knows there's a certainty. So I'll end it on this quick story, okay? And this is such a great divine guidance story, and I kind of wish you all could exercise that right more often to receive divine freaking guidance all the time. I was living in this country house in the south of France. This was before COVID. Okay, this was a few years ago. And I was dating a wonderful guy. We dated for like 3 years. He was like one of the probably the biggest love of my life, like one of them, like one of the top three, you know. And he was a landscape artist in the south of France, and he promised me, I'm going to help you set up this beautiful compost in your garden so you can throw all your kitchen scraps and all of that thing, okay? And he was kind of a I'm going to get to it when I get to it vibe, you know? And I was like, I want a nice compost like yesterday in my garden. I don't want to wait for it. So this one day, so my guidance was saying, well, keep visualizing it done. Like don't. So here's what being in 3D means. Like we see what is, and it's not what we want. So the more we see what we have and we don't like it and we disapprove of it, the more we have these feelings about it and we get frustrated and we start to beat ourselves up about it. We're like, oh, this isn't what I wanted, and why can't I have what I want? And we get like, oh, and we're stuck in this loop of I see what I don't want. I feel strong feelings about it. So we're stuck having more of it because we keep seeing it. And what we visualize, and that's like the recipe for manifesting, is we visualize it and we feel it into being. So you have to rise above your current situation. To love it and accept it the way it is, because it is what it is. You can't change it unless you can accept it. That's one of the most important spiritual laws to get, is unless I accept it, it cannot change. What I love will dissolve, but what I resist will persist. So to just finish the story about my compost, as I visualize it, like I visualize it done, I see it done. I see it done, I visualize it done. Anyway, and then he finally is like, okay, let me go get all the stuff and I'll come back and do it. And I'm like, finally, it's happening. I think I must have visualized it for 2 weeks or something. Just loving the feeling of it being done, visualizing it being done. Okay. Now I know I could have just gone out and bought one and did it myself, but that it wasn't the exercise. The exercise was he said he was going to do it. I can't keep pestering him about it. I can't be texting him about it. I can't remind him about it because then I'm in my masculine. And I was very conscious at that time to be very much in my feminine and into manifesting through feminine energy. So he finally goes and says, I'm going to go get all the stuff, but he's gone like for hours. I'm just like, what is he doing? So instead of letting my mind go into worry and like frustration, oh, he's not coming back, and I could have gone into drama in my head, it was a very conscious choice to go back to the feeling of it's done. I have it, it's in my garden. And literally, as I pivoted, he pulled up and finished putting everything, and he had to hammer this thing in. He had to like make it really pretty with his palettes. And it was like a 3-hour job, right? But that's how you can influence things manifesting faster, is to see them already here. Now, I didn't have oppositions or resistance to having a compost in my garden. So I didn't need to ping pong on it or clear my energy on it. But let's say you want to do that for clients and money, and you're like, okay, let me just visualize it coming in. Let me feel it coming in. The problem is if you have any kind of resistance to money, it's going to block. If you have any kind of like low vibes about receiving, it's going to block it. So you want to make sure you're squeaky clean about the compost. You want to make sure you don't visualize the lack of the compost, but you visualize yourself having it. And you go into what it would feel like to celebrate that it's here. You want to go into what it would feel like to have it here and to only believe that it's done. Do you see the difference between that and waiting for it to happen? Waiting for it to happen for me is a trauma response that you have, Anissa, that you still need to unpack. And for that, you need to be logging in the tapas TAT videos every freaking day and doing it. You know, you need to do a lot of work on that. The parts work with the chair and TAT, because you don't get rid of trauma by wishful thinking, and you don't get rid of trauma by spiritual work. You get rid of trauma by really doing an actual exercise that is proven over time to work for post-trauma and trauma response, which is inside Radical Intuition, and you have the login, so go use it. And I'm not saying you're not using it, I'm just telling you, okay? Okay, cool. So yeah, because and I'll just finish on this, you guys. Like, so I'm reading Anissa's energy, but it's like, as long as Anissa's operating still out of the wounded teenager who's waiting, because that's the trauma response, she's manifesting everything through that lens. She's manifesting everything as the one who's waiting. And guess what? Waiters want to wait. Waiters want to wait. So guess what? The waiter will manifest delays, because your frequency that you're most used to is waiting. Just like lookers have opportunities to look. They keep losing stuff. They don't find parking. Lookers look. Just like students study. So students feel like they never get there. They keep having to study. Everything, every pivot that you're in will always be the one you keep having. Finders find. Experts get to be experts and give advice and get paid for their expertise. People who have more. The more you have, the more you have. You guys know that. The more you know how to have, the more you get to have. Yeah. So Anissa pivoting from the waiter, looking at what caused the waiter to wait, to feel like it's safe to wait, and pivoting into who's on the opposite of the waiter is going to change everything for you right away. So when you've done the work, you're going to see it shift right away. Like I said, if it's going to work, it's going to work right away. If things are still delayed, then it's because you're still attached to waiting. Yeah, there's still stuff in there. Just like as soon as you pivot to finding parking spots, you find parking spots everywhere you freaking go. You never look for parking again once your identity is the finder. Do you see the difference? If my identity is I'm a waiter, then I always wait. I'm always gonna have to wait for everything. Everything's gonna be later. Okay. All right. So I know I talk a lot about energy work, identity work, sales strategy, and all of that. I'm going to probably share this with you guys next week. There is a new program to make your wound your wealth over 10 months this September starting, so that we can go over every little tiny little tool and like really deepen it and go into it and get you guys results pretty fast, because you'll get my eyes on you every week, and I'll tell you what to pivot, I'll tell you what to do, so you can have a lot more sales a lot faster. And I'm gonna make really affordable payment plans for everybody, with some bonuses for those who want to pay in full, who want to pay faster. You'll get some of those for the people who want to kind of commit right away to the whole year, but it's like a certification program where you learn the tool and then you're able to use it with your clients and inside your packages. So I'm super excited. This isn't new. I've been teaching this for years, but the way I'm packaging it this time is a little bit new, because I want to make it accessible for everybody to have manifest money and have sales as fast as possible through alignment and strategy. So they both work really fast, but when you do it with someone who can kind of see where you're getting in your own way, then you get to see it work faster. Okay. This was awesome. If you're watching the replay, say hi, comment below. I want to know and see that you guys stopped by. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys on Friday, and let me know how it goes. Let me know how the ping pong goes, Anissa, okay? And I'm sure I'll talk to you soon inside the Ping Pong Sisterhood. Okay, Hayden, do you want to say hi? You want to say hi? No, he doesn't. He's hiding. All right, we're going to go play Legos. All right, see you all soon. Bye.